Hello, so this is about to combat homelessness. Spokane is starting to put relationships before punishment.
On any given night this winter, it is thought that hundreds of thousands of people in this country have no other choice but to sleep outside in the cold. The homeless population is rising, and it can feel like an intractable problem. But Spokane, Washington is seeing some early success trying out new tactics to help its most vulnerable. NPR's Kirk Sigler has more.
When the icy wind blows off the Spokane River, the temperature can routinely plunge below zero on these worn streets near downtown and the I-90 freeway. Trying to survive without shelter out here is almost impossible. Just ask Mariah Hodges.
The first night I came here, I was almost frozen to the sidewalk.
By luck, Hodges was connected to a warming center by a volunteer where she's now staying. This is one of 3 new makeshift emergency facilities that the city of Spokane has paid to open up this winter. Hodges is almost 40. She's frail and shivering.
They got me in and they got me on a mat. They got me some extra blankets. They got me hot water.
Hodges says she was evicted from her apartment. She lost her job at the Motel 6, and she's lucky to find space here. The center's 60 beds and 30 mats are taken every night.
You can leave that there, brother. I'll take care of that stuff.
Unlike other shelters, there's a low bar of entry here. Hodges' boyfriend across the room is addicted to meth, and she's struggling with alcoholism.
And they're checking on me all the time. I'm like, hey, I want to go drink. And they're like, no, you don't. We're going to keep an eye on you. You're going to stay here today.
What Hodges is talking about, that constant attention, the support, is the kind of care that advocates for the poor say works to at least help people get out of the spiral into chronic homelessness. Julia Garcia runs this warming center.
Most of the people in this building should not be here. They have issues that need to be addressed at a different level. But due to their circumstance or their behavior or whatever has gotten them to the place where they're sleeping outside, they don't know how to get out of that.
The more traditional approach to dealing with homelessness is tougher enforcement, ticketing people for panhandling or sleeping in doorways, busing them to shelters, sometimes in other cities. But Garcia says there's a growing consensus now that a more punitive approach hasn't worked for Spokane, Washington's second largest city of 220,000 people that hasn't seen the prosperity of coastal cities like Seattle. On any given night, it's thought that well over 1,000 people are now sleeping outside here, even when there may be help available.
It's not more services that they need. We have access to those services. It's the relationships that aren't being built.
So Spokane is trying something different. This was on display in a big way one chilly morning at the city's downtown convention center, where you might expect to see a trade show or convention in this huge, airy hall. Today, it's a homeless connect. Hundreds of the city's most vulnerable are carrying tote bags stuffed with donated food, jackets, health, and housing brochures. Organizer Carrie Chapman says they moved the event here this year because they ran out of space at the old venue, the Salvation Army.
It's an amazing thing to witness. We have absolutely every service you can think of. Veterinary services, haircuts, showers, clothing, food.
But this is about more than just giving out free clothes or Hep C tests.
Thank you, 211. A lot of information right at this table for you.
It's part of a delicate, more long-term plan to build trust in the system and convince people if they get help, their lives might improve. In a quieter corner of the convention hall, Spokane Municipal Court Judge Matthew Antish is working the warrant squashing table. It's for people who have been ticketed for illegal camping or sit and lie, as it's called here, or other misdemeanors, and never showed up in court.
Thank you. So this person has come in, they want to get their warrant taken care of, but at least until their next court date, this person is not going to have that misdemeanor warrant over their head.
Antish says the courts are finding that a hardline approach on enforcement doesn't really do anything to stop the spread of homelessness. It costs the city $134 a day to jail someone.
It is an incredible expense on the community to have these warrants ultimately served. I think people have to start, frankly, caring about folks, their problems, and trying to help them with it.
This was a pop-up version of Spokane's community court. It convenes weekly over at the library. Judges like Antish will often dismiss a warrant and combine someone's citations all into one case, even dropping the fines that the city rarely collects anyway. It's not clear yet how much this is doing to build better trust or save money, but one idea is that it's at least showing people like Shan Anderson there is hope. Anderson, who's 40, has been in and out of homelessness since he was 9. He's gotten 5 recent warrants for failing to show up in court for camping tickets.
Makes me feel better in myself knowing that I actually have people out here that will help me and that actually try to help.
Anderson just got his warrants squashed. Now it's up to him to complete his supervised community service. Kirk Ziegler, NPR News, Spokane, Washington.
And